right, here's just a review of lesson 5, right, of module 4, so 4.5. I just want to kind of give you a little video in case you missed class or need to come back and check this out for study purposes, right? So this section is called independence. Huge, right? Everything we've learned about has been leading us up to this. So what happens first? The British realize that their fighting in the north is not going the way that they planned for it to, right? So they decide maybe they'll do a little bit better if they go down south and start to fight in the southern colonies. Why did they think that? Well, the southern colonies had a lot more loyalists, right? If you remember, a loyalist was somebody who still really liked the king and really liked Britain and wanted to remain loyal to them. So the British were hoping that in the South, they would have all these loyalists and more people on their side so they would win more fights. They also thought that if they were freeing slaves and giving them weapons, that those slaves would fight for the British and it would be really easy for them to win. So at first in Georgia and South Carolina, they were kind of right? The British were doing a really good job during the battles in South Carolina and Georgia. But then there's a huge turning point, right? And the American patriots finally defeat the British in the Battle of Yorktown. All right, so they're in Yorktown, Virginia, and there's this huge battle. It's the last big battle of the Revolutionary War. And the British general, the general on the British side, named General Cornwallis, ends up saying, listen, we surrender. Right after weeks of fighting, he said, you know what? We don't have enough money. We don't have enough soldiers. We're done. We give up. You win. Right? This is huge news if you're a patriot. So, even though there were a few small battles afterwards, the Battle of Yorktown is the last major battle of the American Revolution, and it solidifies that the Patriots are going to get their independence. So, after this, like I said, there were a few small battles, but it was clearly over after the Battle of Yorktown. But even after the Battle of Yorktown, it took 2 years to come to a peace agreement, right? They talked about what they should do and how they think they should go about being peaceful and ending the war for 2 full years. Then Britain finally recognized American independence by signing, you can see where I'm circling, by signing the Treaty of Paris of 1783. All right, please remember this because this is a very good example of something that if you try to Google what is the Treaty of Paris to find your answer, there's a lot of Treaty of Parises, and you're probably going to get something a little bit wonky. So after the Battle of Yorktown, it took 2 years before Britain recognized American independence by signing the Treaty of Paris of 1783. And that's it. Very short chapter. Let me know if you have any questions. This video and these slides are going to be posted under the review. And the day before the quiz, the Kahoot will be added there as well if you want to kind of quiz yourself beforehand.